You guys already knew by now that I picked up a GW-4000 series Sky Cockpit G-Shock a few weeks back, but what you probably didn't know, I also picked up another Sky Cockpit model called the GW-3500, a solar wave scepter to multiband 6 Sky Cockpit G-Shock watch that was released literally a decade ago. So let's talk about this. Why is this watch so important? A quick fact, this is the first Sky Cockpit series G-Shock watch that Casio ever made, and that leads the whole journey to Pilot series watch all the way to the bookmark that I was using today, the GW-2000, the greatest, the best one that we have today. So since we are talking about Gravitymaster, I'm gonna need to use this again, G-Shock Perfect Bible, to be specific, from the year 2011. You can pick it up from Yahoo Japan Auction, eBay, or from Amazon. Just buy used one, they are totally fine. Okay, let's talk about this. Back in 2010, Casio became one of the sponsors for the Red Bull Air race, basically a plane race, and you can see there's a G-Shock sticker being placed at the back of it. You could even look it up on YouTube, a video of this plane on flight, and it's really fast. And in order to be one of the sponsors, they need to create a G-Shock watch that could withstand a strong G-force experienced by the pilot during flights, and to be exact, around 12 G-force. And this is how this G-Shock watch was born, a watch that could withstand strong G-force, and thus the name Sky Cockpit Gravitymaster. To be exact, at least, this watch has to surpass ISO 2669. Basically, they will subject this watch to a G-force of 15 G. And when the watch has passed, and then they know that, hey, this watch is strong enough for that, which means we could use it as a pilot watch for the flight. And this is the machine that they use to plug this watch in, and then this basically just rotate it and see if it's still working or not. It's pretty easy test. Basically similar test in which they put the frogman is, but this frogman will undergo ISO 6125, this one ISO 2669 centrifugal test. That's pretty much it. And the charges, 37,800 Japanese yen back in 2010, which is expensive, but this is really one of a kind solar website to watch that could automatically adjust the hands by itself if it's ever got misaligned, and that is something that no quartz movement watch can do at all at the same time. So speaking of what the function is, let's begin by having a look at the main big feature for the watch, being the ability to display 3 times at the same time. Okay, first it is showing me hour and minutes for the Tokyo time in which I set this watch to, and the digital display is showing the same as well, T1. If I press the lower right button, it will go to T2, displaying the date and the time for Chicago time, which I already preset before. And the sub-dial at the 3 o'clock position is showing me UTC time. So now we have it Tokyo, Chicago, and UTC time, all 3 at the same time. And now these hands are pointing to battery indicator. LMOH is operating on CTL920 battery, and if you need to swap it up, it is pretty affordable. You have the auto light indicator, snooze, alarm, signal indicator on top, and that is all. If I press this button again, it will move back to T1, and this portion will tells me day display. If I press the mode button, we'll go to the world time. In here, you could set the sub dial over here to any city that you want. It has 48 cities. I could cycle through all of this. Let's say Rome. There we go. The hands will move to the 10 AM somewhere, and then when you leave this mode, it will stay there. Moving on to the stopwatch mode, as being indicated over here, it could run all the way to 24 hour like most G-Shock watch, and being a NADG, that gave it the ability to run to 24 hours, because if you're using a full analog, the features pretty much limited. So if you're looking for more usable functions out of your G-Shock, NADG Gravitymaster is the way to go. But if you are okay with limited features but you just want looks, get a full analog version. It also has split time like usual, and then it has a countdown timer to 60 minutes only, good for sports, and it could auto repeat itself over and over again, all the way to 8 times. Next, signal, or basically alarm in this case. You could set it up, of course, all number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and the 5th will be the snooze, and then you have signal. And that's pretty much it. Since this is a solar wave sector watch, as being indicated over here, multiband 6, You could manually receive the signal by pressing the adjust once. There you go, and you could do that already. Or just check whether the watch has already synchronized its time or not. The watch has a lot of grid texture on the face. I don't know why they're taking that, but from the description of the watch, they actually inspired the whole design from the instrument on an aircraft. And one last good thing about the watch is not because of the LED lights, because it only could glow in amber orange with other light, but not for the digital portions. But the good thing is about the luminous, where this hour, minutes, and also this mode indicator over here could also glow in the dark, and that looks incredibly cool in my opinion. The luminous is so bright, even in the daytime, as you are seeing right now, you could easily see all the parts that is glowing, and they could last for a while. If you work at nighttime, you could, in my opinion, rely on this. Of course, you need to charge it up once after a few hours using your flashlight. It's super easy to use, and since it has the auto light features, all you have to do is just tilt your wrist and it will glow the amber orange LED lights, and you are good to go. Okay, this watch is really cool, but again, what makes it so good that it could be called a Gravitymaster G-Shock watch? Again, like I said, it needs to pass ISO 2669 centrifugal test, which also used to test this GW-3500. So basically, every Gravitymaster G-Shock that we got today has undergoes the same test, and that's what makes them great. And since they could pass all of this harsh environment, meaning we could use them in our daily life, and it will keep accurate timekeeping in any situation at all. Okay, next is the design of the hands. In this case, they are made to balance the front and back, and that also helps not easily affected with G-force during flight. Similar concept used on this GW-3500, except they also changed the material to carbon fiber. In this case, back then they only used, if I'm not mistaken, some kind of metal, aluminum, because they are so soft, so I'm guessing aluminum. So aside from that, what else that you could get out of this watch? First and foremost, if you were to buy one today, this thing gonna cost you less than 100 bucks, probably around 50 to 80 bucks in used conditions, and I'm talking about a good used condition, not as bad as the one you're seeing over here. So you really don't have to spend a lot to own one of this, and you really will get a really cool looking G-Shock watch. But I have to mention, I'm not a fan of this design at all, but if you are, then go on right ahead. You could buy one, the watch is cheap, and if you end up not liking it, you could always sell it back and gain your money back to buy something else. That is easy. The fit is great, the size is just great enough. They actually stated that intentionally make the dial to be 32mm, so the pilot could easily view it, and the buttons are made to be big so you could operate it while wearing glove. And also there's a guard. The button guard actually goes downwards, so it won't get stuck between the skin or the layer of your glove underneath while you are operating the button, and it is super convenient, super easy. And not to mention, it has dome shaped glass like most Gravitymaster G-Shock, and the strap also have the same pattern and design like most Gravitymaster at that time. Even fit is incredibly great as well. This watch was locked with a screw bar on the side of it. Well, not the same like next generation Gravitymaster, which I will highlight after. So that's the difference between this GW-3500, and if you don't like this design like I am, I prefer full analog instead, you could get the GW-3000, which was released at the same time as well. And if I'm not mistaken, the movement actually, if you look back in history, Castle literally just recycled the MTG 1500 movement and used that to build the Gravitymaster. So in a way, you could call this a vintage MTG that was called a different name after and different design, just a little bit changed here and there, and they just called it different things, but they charge us half the price than the original MTG 1500 price, so I'm totally fine.